Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and in this tutorial we will learn together special methods in object-oriented programming. So what are the special methods that are supplied with the class or object-oriented programming in Python? Special methods are a set of built-in functions or methods that are started with double leading or trailing underscore. When we start with double underscores, we call them double leading, and when we finish with two underscores or double underscores, we call them trailing. So we use the constructor that is used to initialize the attributes. We used init, okay, and we used with this init double leading underscore and double trailing underscore, and the name of that constructor is init, and init is a special method in Python that is used to initialize the attributes. So the special methods are methods that are used to add functionality to attributes or add functionality to the behavior of the objects that are utilized or are programmed. Okay, such methods are termed as magic or dunder methods. So either to say special method or magic or dunder method or are the same, and each class object in Python has its own dunder or magic methods. Okay, so there are a set of magic or special methods that are integrated with each object class. When you create an object class, okay, then this magic or special methods are created automatically. Okay, there are many of these methods or special methods, sorry, because method is different than special methods. Okay, for example, we have init, which is used as a constructor to construct our attributes, and we have str, which is used to print the string representation of the class or of the instance. We have also similar to str, we have wrapper. Sorry for the misordering them. Wrapper is used the same, but it prints the representation that is used in the debugging mode. Okay, so the interpreter can see the data from wrapper. Okay, we have lim to show the length of the item inside the instance. We have get item if you have like a dictionary and you want to return data from this dictionary. Okay, there is also dict, but here remember that dict is not a special method, but it's like a special attribute. I integrated this dict with this tutorial. Okay, and in the next one we could describe more for dict. For it's important because when you create an instance, okay, the item or the attributes that is located inside the instance, okay, it can be transferred into a dictionary. Okay, when I use this dict, and when I say equal or eq, this is a special method that is used to compare two instances if they contain or if they store the same attributes or not. And there are many others that we cannot highlight all of them. So to start like introducing this method, we started later in previous tutorials. We used the init as a constructor, okay, and now we will use str. Okay, let us just design our own class. Okay, so the class will have the Python. Okay, Python, let us to say Python div or Python eng as the same name. Okay, we will use now the constructor, which is a special method and is listed as the first one. We told that we informed that we use this to identify the mandatory attribute that I need to submit when I create the instance. I have name, age, and for example grade. Okay, and let us the salary, and I want to store, okay, the value of the name in the self.name. Okay, and I want to do the same for the age. Okay, where I want to store the value of age in self.age and in self.grade. I want to store the grade, and in self.salary, okay, I want to store the salary, okay? So salary, that's okay. Now we okay, use the first special method, which is the constructor, okay, for our class. Then we added, let us use the same function we design, I think, behave, and this behave will print to me after string, and we use self.name, okay, for example, is able to write code, and we also had I think, if I'm not wrong, the programming language, and we also have another attribute here for this function, which is language, and we return here a print. Okay, you can use return or you can use print directly, and we say that self.name, okay, is able to write code with a language. So if we like pass Python or any other language. So I just designed, I will not use them, but I want to make like semi-complete class. And we learn together that we can create an instance. For example, I want to create this first instance to me by calling the name of the class, and I have to pass this mandatory, okay, attributes. For the first name I have Ali, and for the age is 35, for the grade, for example, is senior, and for the salary as considered 4,000. Okay, now if I want to print this instance, okay, by using the normal print statement, then I will have the memory address as a result of this print. For example, if you print this, you will see here there is memory address that has been printed, which is the location where this instance is located, okay, in the memory. And this is not good to practice. And in the previous tutorial, we introduced a method or approach to print the information like Ali, age, or grade by introducing information, and this information, it will return to me a print. Sorry, it will return a print. And inside this print, for example, I want to say the name equal to self.name, okay, and the, for example, age, like let us use this, and age equal, okay, just to follow the same, we have self.age, and we will add only the salary. Okay, we will not include the grade. Salary will equal to the self.salary. Okay, and instead of printing this memory address by using this instance, we can use p1.information, so I can access the information method. This is method, this is method, this is method, and this is a special method. Okay, so by accessing this method, I can print all of this information. Okay, now I printed the name, I printed the age, I printed the salary. But remember, that's not the complete story or the useful practice that we will use. Okay, so I want to print, for example, this instance, okay, which is B1, and I want to have this information printed. How can I do that? Instead of having information, I can use str, okay, and sorry, I have to remove this. I have here the str, okay, and within str we will remove a print statement. We will have if string, okay, and information. Now we will never use information, no need to use it. So I have another special method, I introduce it here. This will print the string representation of the instance of b1, for example, which is the instance, if I print it directly. So I have to return what information I need to be printed. Now, if I execute this print, then I will have the information printed here, okay? Now, we have a methodology to print the information of the instance based on the design, okay, line or the design pattern we want to use to print. So I excluded the grid. I don't use the grid here. But if I want to use the grid, I can extend this. For example, I can say grid is equal to self.grid, okay? And we have the grid here, okay? And that's for using str, okay? So the str, it will return the string representation, okay? And this string representation that is appear to the end user. For example, you can notice this here. There is another string representation that are not appear to the user, but it's it can be visualized or it can be seen by the interpreter of the Python, okay, by which we can use a wrapper. So str and wrapper are two special methods. Both are used to print or to show, okay? The first one is to show to the end user. The second one is to show how the representation could be seen in the debugging mode, okay? If like the interpreter debug the code, or you will like have another tools to debug your code, okay? And so in the debugging mode, we can use wrapper. Let us to like clarify this more. Don't look to this class now, just look here. If I have a variable, for example, name, and I have my name, okay, I have Mohammed, okay. If I print name, okay, then I want also to hide this line just to be more focused here. I have the variable name and I printed this name, okay, and it's printed here. This is printed for the end user, okay, just to show to the end user how they print name. This is typical if you use str, okay, like this, okay. So this, if you use str or don't use str, print statement will bring the string representation to the end user, okay. So the default of a print statement, so it uses the default a print representation, which is str, okay, which is integrated with the print. Now there is another method to print the name, which called wrapper, okay. So I use the wrapper here, okay, and wrapper, look at this. I want to print the both. I want to print str, which is the default for the print statement, okay, and I want to print the wrapper just to see the difference. When I printed the str, it is printed for the end user and like in the last version. But when I use the wrapper to print, you can see here we have single quotations, okay, and this is called the interpreter mode, okay, or sorry, it's called debugging mode, okay. So by this way, the internal process in Python or the internal communication can see the debugging mode or the debugging representations. Let us take another example, okay. I want to remove this. In Python, there is a module that allow you to manipulate dates and time, which is called datetime. So I can import datetime. I will have a separated tutorial for datetime, but after object-oriented programming, I think after 20 tutorials from this tutorial or 25. Okay, so we can import this datetime module to allow me to have like object or to create object from like date or from the time, or if I want to manipulate or change the date or time. So this module allow me to print the current time, okay, and date, okay, which is associated with the Windows or the system time. So now if I use datetime dot now, dot now, I can, okay, assign the current date and time of the local system to the object now, or to the variable now, and then I can print this now. Okay, so today is 27th of July, and this is the current local time for me in the Netherlands. Okay, and this is in minutes and in seconds. Okay, now this print line shows the default, okay, which is str. So if I use or I don't use, it will be the same. Okay, now if I print the wrapper, okay, of this now object, then I will have another thing which will be totally different, okay, than the string. So this is the debugging mode print, okay, and this is the string to the end user mode. Okay, so just this can be more clear that in the debugging mode or in the debugger print mode, we have different representations, and by this the Python interpreter can see this mode. Why I introduced this? Because I can use, instead of str also, I can use wrapper. Okay, I can use underscore wrapper here. Okay, so that's why I need to save this up, and I can print the wrapper of the object. Okay, as well. So we can see here that, okay, here also I have to have the wrapper. Okay, so I have to return this wrapper of this string, and now if you see this double quotation, and by this the Python interpreter or the debugging mode can be activated. So we highlighted in it, okay, for constructing the object. We highlighted the string to retrieve the string representation of the object or the instance. We use the wrapper. Wrapper is nothing but a special method typical to the string, but different in the mode. This is for the debugging mode, and this is for the end user mode. Okay, and now we want to also highlight, for example, another special method. Just to close this tutorial, we will use equally. Okay, and how can we use this equally? Okay, just look to this. We have this instance which is p1. Okay, and before just introducing this method which is equal, okay, just look to this. Okay, now I want to have, for example, A, and I want to have, this is a list, and inside this list I have 10 and 20. Okay, sorry, I have to have 10 and 20. I have B, and B will be the same, 10 and 20. Okay, then if I print A equal B, this will compare the value of A and value of B, which is a Boolean conversion, meaning that we will have either true or false based on the value. So the type is a list, and list, it's okay. The value of the item here, we have 10, 20, and we have 10, 20, and it's supposed to be true, and it is true. But if I use is, okay, then it will be false. Why? Because is compare the memory address of A and the memory address of B, which means that if I print, okay, LID of A and print the ID, okay, which is identifier of the object of B, okay, look to this identifier. Both are different, okay, and both are different also in terms of memory locations. Okay, so we can use equal or the special method equal to check if, for example, A is equal B, okay, A is greater than or equal B, which the A or B will be instances of the class. Okay, just one last thing. If you have one integer value, for example, this, if you say A equal B, it should be equal, and if you say A is B, will be equal also, because in the single integer numbers, Python like integrated the similar value into the same memory location, so it points to the same memory location just for memory optimization. But for other objects like list or tuples or value, okay, then it will be for example with different memory location. Okay, now I have this B1 and I want to have another B2, okay, another instance of the class, and both are with the same value. Let us print, okay, P1 equal P2. Some of yours will say, oh, they are equal because the value are the same. But I just described to you that without. So let us remove also or hide this wrapper, okay, because by using wrapper or str, B1 will be the string representation. I mean, look to this. Let us print B1, okay, sorry, B1, okay, this is P1. Let us print P2, okay. Let us print P2. P1 and P2 are with the same value, with typical value. Right. Okay. Let us print P1 equal P2, and look to this. Sorry, P1 not P11. Okay. Well, for the first glance, you will see we have the first name, the similar name, and we have the is the similar and the salary and the grade for both instances. But when I use equal, when I do Boolean conversion, I will have false. Okay, because I said that this B1 is located in a memory location that is different than P2, and to compare the exact value, not the memory location. So now, so far we have memory by this conversion, we are comparing the memory address for this instance and the memory address, and both are the difference. How can I prove that? I can print the IDE of P1, okay, and following the same footprint, I print the ID of P2, and let us print them. Then we have different IDs. Okay, to compare the value. So I want to compare the value, okay, but using this form, then I should use the sorry, equal, by which I define underscore equal, whereby this we compare the self with other. Self is called, for example, the first one, and other is called the last one. So I just return here, okay, in form of upper string also, okay, or whatever. Return, for example, I want to return what? I want to compare what? I want to compare self. Self meaning the same, this object, okay, and other refer to the other object. So self.name, okay, equal to the other dot name. Okay, let us do this, and it's true now. Okay, before it was false, but the self.name, which is Ali, equal other dot name, which is true. But if Ali will be Mira, for example, okay, then we will have false now. And let us return it to Ali. Now, can I add something else? Yes, I can use either and or. Okay, I want to compare self.salary, okay, equal other, okay, dot salary, okay. I want to compare here the self.salary, okay, and now I think I have a problem here, because here we have self.salary and the other dot salary, and now we have false because we have here false. Why false? Yeah, here we have only is capital and in the letter L we have it true now because the name is similar in self and other, and the salary is similar. I can use different salary to highlight, which is for example like this. Okay, when I can run now it will be false because when I use and combiner, both should be equal. So name should be equal, which is a true, and this should be equal, but now it's different. Okay, if I want to override this, I can use or, for example, and with or it's can true, or I can use something else. I can use and self dot age. Okay, it should be equal to the other. Okay, dot age, and to the reminder combiner we want, or the reminder attribute. Remember that we can, for example, compare not the exact value, but we can use, for example, greater. Now it will compare based on the alphabet, who is capital, who is come first, for example A, B, C, and who is small, and the order of the letters. Okay, that's for today's tutorial, and in the next tutorial we will continue, okay, describing or introducing the special methods in Python.